Germany is at the center of Europe, and Berlin is the heart of Germany. Something unusual happened in Berlin last month when Germany's constitutional court canceled around 60 billion euro in spending for this year and the next. The court stated that the government couldn't transfer leftover funds meant for COVID-19 relief to support wind and solar projects, assist with energy bills, and promote investment in computer chip production. This comes at a time when the German economy is facing significant challenges. According to the IMF, Germany has been the worst performing developed economy this year. In today's video, we'll dive into whether this budget crisis signals a new economic downturn and explore other reasons contributing to Germany's economic challenges. Throughout much of this century, Germany experienced a series of economic successes, leading global markets with top-quality goods like luxury cars and industrial machinery. The country's ability to export was so crucial that half of its economy depended on international sales. During this time, jobs were plentiful, the government's financial reserves grew, while other European nations dealt with debt issues. Germany was often seen as a model for others to follow. In today's Germany, globalization, industrialization, and worldwide connectivity have played a positive role in its progress. The country has thrived, and the automotive industry, led by giants like Volkswagen, BMW, and Mercedes-Benz, has been a key driver of Germany's economic growth. The Autobahn, showcasing German engineering excellence, seamlessly connects cities and industries like a lifeline. The Made in Germany label is now a global symbol of quality, synonymous with reliability and innovation. Notably, in 2016, Germany achieved the world's highest trade surplus, totaling $310 billion. This economic success positioned Germany as the largest global exporter of capital. Then came COVID-19, bringing everything to a halt. In 2020, Germany's economy shrank by just under 5%, performing better than most European counterparts. However, new waves of infections and subsequent lockdowns from late 2020 to early 2021 hindered the recovery from the initial wave. The most affected aspect was Germany's external trade. This setback occurred as China, a key trade partner, experienced a slowdown after decades of robust economic growth. Volkswagen, Europe's largest carmaker, relies on China for a substantial 40% of its sales by volume. China has consistently been among Germany's top trading partners for 7 consecutive years, with combined exports and imports surpassing $320 billion, showing a notable increase of around 21% from the figures in 2021. However, China's strict enforcement of the zero-COVID policy has led to reduced demand for German goods. On top of that, the war in Ukraine has disrupted Germany's ambitious clean energy transition, the Energiewende, revealing an unforeseen vulnerability: the nation's dependence on Russian fossil fuels. This dependence has triggered a series of economic and environmental challenges, compelling Germany to navigate a delicate balance between immediate needs and long-term goals. The economic repercussions have been significant. Energy prices for German households surged by 12% since the war began, with certain industries experiencing even more substantial increases. This surge has squeezed profit margins and hindered production, especially in energy-intensive sectors like steel and chemicals. BASF, a chemical giant, reported a 73% decline in net income attributed to soaring energy costs. The fear of gas shortages and escalating prices has compelled some companies to curtail production or temporarily shut down operations, resulting in an industrial slowdown. This slowdown is already impacting the broader economy, with the German Chamber of Industry and Commerce warning of a potential recession. Job losses are also becoming a harsh reality, particularly in the steel industry, which is expected to shed 80,000 jobs by 2030, partly due to the ongoing energy crisis. In the face of the energy crisis, Germany has reluctantly revived its reliance on coal, a move contradicting its ambitious climate goals. Coal-fired power plants, originally slated for closure, have been brought back online, and discussions are underway about expanding coal mining. The imminent retirement of a significant portion of Germany's workforce is also plaguing the German economy. About 64% of the German population falls within the working age category, similar to the United States. However, a considerable portion of Germany's workforce, primarily those in their late 50s and early 60s, is on the brink of retirement. Companies are currently facing challenges in filling job vacancies, and the labor market is anticipated to lose 7 million workers by 2035, given the existing workforce of 46 million. This scarcity of skilled workers, combined with sluggish productivity growth, is notably impacting the car manufacturing industry. A recent survey conducted by the IFO Institute, involving 9,000 companies in Germany, brought to light that 43.1% reported a shortage of qualified workers. The nation's long-term productivity and competitiveness face a significant threat due to this demographic shift. The numbers tell a compelling story. The projected ratio of retirees to employees in Germany is alarming. By 2030, there will be nearly 48 retirees for every 100 workers, and this number is expected to surpass 58 by 2050. This equates to a staggering 60% increase in the retiree-to-employee ratio within just 27 years. Simultaneously, Germany's declining birth rate is resulting in a diminished pool of young talent entering the workforce. This demographic squeeze creates a dual challenge: a shortage of workers to replace those retiring, and a potential skills mismatch for the evolving needs of the economy. This demographic shift poses a serious risk to productivity. With fewer workers available, each individual must produce more to maintain the same level of economic output. On top of that, while Germany boasts a formidable industrial base and technological prowess, its Achilles heel lies in a surprising area: data-driven governance. According to the OECD Digital Government Index, Germany holds the dubious distinction of scoring the lowest among 29 developed nations in the data-driven public sector dimension. Imagine starting a business in Germany. You'll face mountains of paperwork, navigating a complex bureaucracy where data sharing between departments is long and inefficient. This delays approvals, discourages entrepreneurs, and stifles innovation. A study by the OECD found that German businesses spend an average of 200 hours per year just complying with regulations, compared to 137 hours in OECD leaders like Denmark. Germany has been facing an extraordinary crisis since November 15th, and the severity of the situation is astonishing. Failing to adhere to its own stringent rules, the leading economy in the Eurozone has found itself in a state of budget gridlock. It is compelled to freeze spending and is unable to pass its Finance Act for 2024, having admitted that the 2023 law was likely unconstitutional. This credibility crisis is unprecedented for Olaf Scholz's government, formed just 2 years ago, and it poses a severe threat to the survival of the coalition. The crisis was triggered by a landmark ruling on November 15th by the Federal Constitutional Court in Karlsruhe. The judges ruled against a controversial financial maneuver that played a crucial role in the formation of the three-party coalition led by Scholz in the fall of 2021. The coalition, comprising the Social Democratic Party, the Greens, and members of the Liberal Democratic Party, had united around the transfer of a €60 billion unused credit, originally designated for combating the consequences of COVID-19, to an off-budget climate and transformation special fund. The political agreement hinged on key principles. The fund would provide ample resources over several years to finance decarbonization and economic transformation, measures desired by the Greens, without burdening the social reforms expected by the SPD. All this had to be done while respecting the constitutional principle of the debt brake, limiting the federal government's annual structural deficit to 0.35%, a principle cherished by the FDP. The Climate and Transformation Fund became the government's favored investment tool, covering initiatives from rail network renovation to the replacement of gas-fired boilers and a €10 billion subsidy for a chip factory in Magdeburg, Saxony-Anhalt. The appeal of such a special off-budget funds prompted the government to create more, including a special fund for the army and a €200 billion fund to address the energy shock in autumn 2022. However, the reliance on these funds to ease budget controversies within the government, such as refugee reception or support for Ukraine, overlooked the vigilance of the constitutional judges. The judges insisted that the rules governing public finance also applied to special funds, leading to a severe budget crisis in Germany. This crisis not only threatens political chaos, but also has the potential to further impact Germany's stability. So, to wrap it up, Germany, once known for its economic strength, is facing many challenges that have significantly affected its position among developed nations. The aftermath of the pandemic, along with the economic impact of the war in Ukraine, the influence of the China factor, and struggles in the manufacturing sector has led to a noticeable downturn. The country's digital infrastructure, despite initial promises and efforts, falls behind, adding another layer of complexity to its economic troubles. Additionally, the aging factor poses a substantial hurdle as the replacement of retiring workers becomes a critical issue. Bureaucratic inefficiencies further slow progress, making it challenging to adapt swiftly to changing economic landscapes. The recent budget crisis and the court ruling add to the problems. So once again, the heart of Europe is in crisis, and maybe the crisis could impact the entire Europe. If you liked the video, do subscribe to the channel and make sure to watch our video on the new Argentinian president and his radical reforms.